Hello everyone, welcome to Express Yourself Success Stories series. Today we have Mr. Aritro Kanjilal with us. So he is currently working as assistant manager at Tata Consulting Engineers Limited. He has 3 years of experience as senior engineer and assistant manager. He has completed his MTech in environmental engineering and also completed his BTech in civil engineering. I want to welcome you, Aritro, to Success Story series. And I also mention you guys, if you like our series, please like, comment, share, and subscribe our channel.
Thank you, Joyita. It's been a pleasure to be in your series. Thank you for calling me in.
Thank you so much. And I'm really excited, for the series today. So before starting our session, could you please give us a brief introduction and idea about your job role?
See, Joyita, I would say that I have been selected in this company, Tata Consulting Engineers, back in 2018, because that's when I was actually graduated. I was post-graduated as MTech from VNIT Nagpur. It was a campus placement,
Okay.
and these 3 years have been a good time for me. In this company, I have been promoted twice. First from trainee to senior engineer, and then recently from senior engineer to assistant manager. So it has been a good time for me in this company. Yeah.
Even a great experience also. Exactly. So how you prepare yourself for interview round during your graduation time as well as your post-graduation time?
See, I would say that I would preferably say that there are two different approach when you go for different companies. Like I would broadly classify companies into mass recruiting general companies, like let us say for TCS or Tech Mahindra. They generally don't go by specialization. They tend to hire from all over the streams, let it be IT, computer science, or civil mechanical. They tend to hire from everybody. There is one set of company like that. There is another set of company, those are like technical companies like Tata Consulting
Core
Engineers or
company. Yeah.
companies. Yeah. Not core companies, they're core companies for every stream as well. Like for
Every
computer,
stream, exactly.
the core company. Oracle doesn't hire civil engineers. So there is
Exactly.
core company for every stream, but there are specific companies, those tend to hire from every other company. They are specifically consultancy services. So when I'm talking about this mass recruiting companies, it's a different approach. You generally focus more on apties, like aptitude, quantitative aptitude, and a bit of English. That's what they tend to focus on. Uh, See, about that preparation, I would say that it's you practice apti, you get good result. Now you have to keep in mind, I have seen several people who are like afraid of this apti thing. For
Exactly.
them, I would say that there is nothing to fear. You have been doing this since your class 6, 7, the arithmetic part, specifically for
Very
the
true.
West Bengal people, you have been solving KC Nag since class 5, 6, 7. So if you are solving KC Nag out there and right now you are fearing apti, there is nothing to fear. You just go and solve it. You know those things. Just you need to practice and brush up the memory that how those things are solved. That's what you do. Uh, I personally believe who can solve KC Nag, they can crack the aptis in first go. So for this
Exactly.
mass recruiting companies, the preparation is solely or more on apti part. Whereas on the other hand, then for the technical companies, you go for hardcore subjects. You have to
Domain
have a
knowledge.
on domain knowledge. Now, I wouldn't say that if you are going for a mass recruiting company, you don't have to have this domain knowledge or something. You have to have, but for these technical companies, you need to have like good grip on what you are studying for the last 4 years. I'm talking about engineers. Uh,
Engineering. Yeah.
so that's the difference. That's the major difference. Like you go technical or you go apti.
Aptitude is compulsory for each and everyone.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's compulsory for each and every one. Like for mass recruiting companies, aptitude carry about 60% or 70% of the marks. Whereas in a technical interview, apti carries a 20% marks, might be 15% as well. For example, you have seen GATE. Like GATE has 15% of apti because it's a technical exam. Whereas if you go for PO exams, IBPS, SBIPO, they are more like apti all over. 100% is apti. There is nothing technical there. So that's the
Okay.
difference.
Yeah, great, great. So what is your point of view of job hopping?
About job hopping, I am glad that you asked that. See, I would say job hopping. See, being in a private company, job
Yeah.
hopping is important. I would say job hopping is definitely important because of 2 points. One is you gain versatility. Like when you was hopping from one company, they have a set of what to
Organization
do.
culture. Yeah.
Exactly. And when we are hopping in some other company, they have another set of culture, another set of works to do. You gain versatility when you are hopping from one job to another. You are gaining versatility. Second, you are gaining money. You are getting money. Once you migrate, they tend to offer you more hikes. So
Exactly.
and enjoy the money matters. You know that.
Exactly.
So I would
Very
say
true.
job hopping has these two good things. One versatility, second money. Yeah. But I would also say that you shouldn't, we shouldn't hop like too soon. Like if I am hopping per year, every year, so there is a chance that we lose credibility in the market. The company
Exactly.
should know that this guy is dedicated to a company. This
Right.
guy
Right.
adhere to the norms and policies and the works of one company for at least 3 years.
Mhm.
So I would say you should hop job, but not very frequently. Let it be 3 years, or in case many old school people would say 5 years. So 3 years in one company, 3 to 5 years is a good job. It's a good thing.
Minimum 3 years you suggest, right?
That gives a credibility in your CV that
Exactly.
this guy is to the job.
Exactly. Exactly. Beautiful. So, why you choose environmental health engineering, not any other specific subject in your MTech?
Uh, See, I chose environmental engineering or public health engineering, as it said, uh, because I love this subject. I kind
Exactly.
of
You
love.
have interest, right?
It's kind of a public benefit as well, and I guess yeah, that's why I love this subject. Apart from that, uh, I would say when I attempted GATE, when I cracked it, after the results came, I saw that if I take any other stream apart from environmental engineering, I would be missing out on big colleges. Like I have been in VNIT Nagpur. VNIT Nagpur is well known for its environmental stream. That's because of presence of NIDI in Nagpur. NIDI is also a CSIR lab, and VNIT and NIDI tends to like collaborate with each other about the
Okay.
researches and the studies. So environmental engineering is something very, very cream in VNIT. So if I would have taken any other stream, I would have placed in, let us say, NIT Silchar or whatever, NIT Hamirpur, but I would have missed the chance of getting into a top NIT. So environmental engineering was my the prime choice. Like I take environmental engineering, go into the NIT Nagpur. So that's all sorted out. And apart from that, I find environmental part quite easy. Of all the subjects that civil engineering have, I find environmental quite easy. So this.
All right. All right. So, could you please give us some quick tips to crack job interview and GD round?
Uh, See, about job interview, I also like previously also said, like make your aptitude strong. That's needed. Like either it's 60% of strength or 15% of strength. The first round is always apti.
Active.
You need to
Very
crack
true.
apti to get into the second round. Whether it's a technical interview or a mass interview, mass recruitment, you need to crack apti. So practice apti. I have seen even toppers of different streams. They tend to focus more on like on the core subjects. They are very good at that. But what they do is either they forget practicing this apti thing, or they are very
Mhm.
overconfident about this.
Yeah.
You don't need to be either. Practice that, and don't be overconfident. Just have the confidence. That's how you crack apti. The point is, for several people I have seen that the apti part is difficult because of the time limit. Like you need to solve 60 questions in 60
Exactly.
minutes.
Yeah.
I have only one tip for them.
Agreed.
Just practice. You need to practice. If you need to solve it within a minute. Now,
Yeah, time limit. Yeah.
regarding this, I would say that I have seen in my workplace and even in schools and colleges that people tend to add like 11 plus 11. They use a calculator. or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
habituated. They are habituated.
yeah, smallest to smallest addition, smallest to smallest calculations, they use calculator. Don't do that. Like, use your brain. When you use calculator, like, too frequently, you tend to lose, the mental maths part. For every, you are being like, you will be needing a accessory to solve the minimalistic of the problems. Don't do that.
Exactly.
For every situation, try to solve it with your brain. If it's not working, if it's too difficult, then only go for the calculator. So these things, when you tend to solve problems in your head, you tend to brush up the mental maths, and that's how you get things under 1 minute. One questions, you have 1 minute of time. If you're calculating it mentally, you will do it within 30 seconds. If you're using the calculator or maybe pen and paper also, you'll be taking more time. So do that. One, and after this apti, I would say about for the technical round again, you need to be like, we need to have a good grip on the technical, as I said. So if you do that, you can crack that. These two, it's solely on the person who is preparing for the interview. If they prepare well, they're going to get it. The third part, from GD part, it's kind of like a bit luck, a bit how you attend the thing. So
And the
in
performance at that time also.
yeah, that day matters, man. That day
Exactly.
matters. Like, a person might be like too good in one thing, like he's like classic in a GD, but that day didn't work out. It happens. Don't I would say, people out there, that you shouldn't get disheartened that you didn't perform well in one GD. There are other GDs waiting for you. So just, you have to be like dogged with the thing that I need to get a job or something. So in GD, I would say, there is a tendency like 10-15 people come in together and they discuss on one topic. There is a situation like, where you know the topic. If you know the topic, that's your forte. If you don't know the topic, take a time. Like, GDs run for 10 minutes, 10-12 minutes. The first 3 minutes is for knowing like what the topic is about. Like, there is one topic, like I remember an incident, I would say an incident. Like, it was back in my BTech college. We
Right?
were having In BTech college, we were having an interview for Excel Dynamics, and uh,
Excellent.
for the GD session, there was a topic called euthanasia. Okay. So what euthanasia is, it's mercy killing. It's typically mercy killing. But at that time, we didn't know that. Many of people don't know that. Someone was going into like youth in Asia. So it was a funny thing going all around. But
Yeah.
always believe this one thing, like, there are 15-20 people out there, one or the other people will know about the thing.
About the topic. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if you talk about, if the GD instructor had said mercy killing, then everybody would have gone inside and just started talking. Because mercy killing everybody knows, but it has a specific term, euthanasia. People don't know that. But at that time, I didn't know that. So I waited for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then started it. Because
And you gather your thoughts.
yeah, gathering thoughts, I knew about the thing. Okay, this is euthanasia.
Exactly.
And apart from that, what mercy killing is, these countries have allowed this, these countries haven't allowed this. I got some information. And then I pitched in. Like, that's how you crack a GD. Like, when you are pitching something, just be bold about that. You have 10 minutes with you. You don't have to be like diplomatic. If you are having an opinion, have that opinion. Like, just put that opinion on table, solid. Like, be bold about that. When you are bold about an opinion, you tend to keep people, no, you tend to put people off guard, like the other candidates. GD is a competition, man. Take it as a
Right.
competition. It's not a friendly meeting going out there. So if you put other people off guard, that's your advantage, man. Like, when you are putting something boldly, the other people will tend to counter it or support it, but they are not
Yeah.
putting their own opinion. Like, I would always prefer, if you're in a GD, put your opinion, so that the conversation goes around your opinion.
Yeah. Even it is a discussion round, right?
Yeah. So if the conversation is going on your opinion, you are the center of attraction, man, because your opinion matters there. When you are supporting, you are putting the auxiliaries. Like, I am
Yeah.
supporting him or her because I think these are the points that he said is true or she said is true, and I am adding this part. Or I am countering his or her point. I think he or she is not right. I think these are this. But when you are countering, you also have that opportunity to put an opinion, the first opinion.
That
And
what
it has,
you believe. Yeah.
yeah, just put a solid opinion. When you are putting a solid opinion, it's a high chance that you are getting selected, because that's the confidence they are looking for.
Exactly. Great. So, could you please share a memorable interview and also a challenging one?
About memorable interview, I would say the interview round that I had in Tata Consulting Engineers. I would say that because before that I didn't have any exposure to a hardcore technical interview. Like before that, I was in Excel Dynamics when or Tech Mahindra when the things were going, when the technical interview were going. They were not technical. They were asking activities from me. Like they were
Oh,
seeing if I can calculate numbers in my head, or
oh,
some strategy, some statistics, and I can calculate those things in my head or not. That was a technical interview. But this Tata Consulting Engineers interview, it was a hardcore civil engineering and not environmental engineering interview. And to add on that, the interviewer was an ex-alumni, so he was constantly judging. Like, you don't know this, you don't know that. Acha, oh, you know this, okay. That was the thing. So
so you
it
are
was a,
becoming more nervous at that point of time.
yeah, it was a nervous situation. But
Exactly.
I kept on going. I prefer that there are several situations that where I didn't know the answer. Like, I would say to everybody that if you don't know, it's not a fault. Like, just tell that I don't know. It's okay to say I don't know. You don't have to have answer for all the questions. Say I don't know, but I don't know is not enough. If you're asking, if someone is asking some questions and you don't know the answer, but you have a vague idea, say I don't know, and then go on. Like, but I can find a solution to this. I think this can go this way.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
So technical companies tend to find that you have a tendency to finding solutions. Like, you don't know the answer. It's
And
okay.
are you capable or not?
Yeah, but do you have the idea how to get the answer? Like, there was a situation where he asked me something I didn't know. I said that I don't know, sir, but I guess if I talk to the electromechanical expert, I can get the answer. I think this can be the course of action that I have, that I can solve this in this way, but I don't know the exact process, so I would take a help from any other expert. That shows you are a team player as well. Like, you are not on your own. You tend to take help from others. That's a good thing.
Exactly, exactly.
So that's most memorable one for me, because it was my first hardcore technical interview. And about the challenging one, I would say I have been in a interview recently with Black and Veatch, and they have interviewed me for like 1.5 hours.
Oh
It was a
God.
hardcore technical round, but it was a video conference meeting, and
Okay, virtually. Yeah.
virtual. It was a virtual meeting, and there were 6 people of different
Panel interview.
panel interview. I was feeling like I was in a college viva. Like, you remember the 4th year grand viva, right? It was
Yeah.
a nightmare. Like,
Audible situation.
yeah, same.
Questions are coming from here and there. I don't know the answer. Even I know I can't give.
Exactly. Just in college, with the questions, if you don't get the answer, there were taunts. There were no taunts here, but okay, fine.
But
Uh,
negative marking are there if you
but
can't.
pretty much relative, but pretty much the same. So they were asking one after another, and there were several situations where I don't know the answer. Every alternate question, I was going like, I don't know. My
My
hands
God.
were up there. But the point is, as I said, I always tend to find the solution. Like, yeah, I don't know this answer, but I think this could be the answer. Not that if I have vague idea, I'm going. If I don't have any idea, I'm going like I don't know, but I will learn it. Okay, I can learn it. I don't know it now, but as for now, but I will learn it. And
Even it is
about,
a very assertive way, to impress the
yeah,
interviewer.
exactly. That's my point. And if I have a vague idea, I am pitching that vague idea. I am beating around the bush, but in a constructive way. Not like I know this, and I am giving all the wrong answers and I'm sticking to that. Not like that. But it's like, I think this could be the way. And if not, I am always up for a help from expert, or let us say CPHO manual or IS codes. I don't know the answer right now, but uh, I will get the answer because these are available in the books. I don't remember it right now. That's all. So that's a good thing to have. And yeah, that was a challenging one, man. That was a challenging one.
Beautiful, beautiful. So lastly, I want to know your experiences and any one challenges you want to share with us.
About my challenges in my
Job
job.
role or
Yeah,
anything.
see, I'm an assistant manager here right now, and we are working under MP government, Madhya Pradesh government, and it's a massive project. It's a ADB funded project, Asian Development Bank, like World Bank, Asian Development Bank. It's a funded project.
Yeah.
So it's water supply and sanitation as well, augmentation for 138 towns all over MP.
Wow.
Massive project. Uh, so I would say challenges, yeah. When like the thing is, we are augmenting 138 towns, WTPs and STPs for 138 towns. So there are several contractors who are actually doing the construction job on the site. Our job, we are a PMC, project management consultant. We manage the project. We are managing all these contractors together. The information, the design, the checkings, the reviews, all are done by TCE in this case. So when the contractors are like a big names, like let us say L&T, Sapuji Padanji, whatever,
Yeah.
when they are big names, like big
Mhm.
fish in the pond, they have a policy, they have a company policy, they adhere to some policy, they have a quality of work, they are ISO certified. So they have a certain structure. So it's much easier to manage them. But when it's small contractors, like local contractors, they are quite mismanaged. I would say like that they tend to get mismanaged. It's not their fault actually. They're starting it off and they don't have a big team enough to manage the total thing fruitfully. So they're managing it somehow. They will be a big company somewhere near future and then they'll have a specific policy. I
Yeah.
understand. I wish all the best to them. But right now they are not that good. So when we are managing this 138 contractors, in our case not 138, it's actually 70-75 contractors. It's a tough job keeping all the like the
Absolutely.
information in the fingertips. You have to remember everything, how the topography is, what the capacity of the WTP is, how much population am I serving. So we need to keep everything on the fingertip. So keeping everything in mind sometimes gets, it's hard. And apart from that, the client is always pressurizing, like how this government projects work. Some minister makes
Absolutely.
some promises like 4 years back that I will give you clean water, okay, like potable water I will give you. He has no idea how, if it can be managed or not. He's just promising, man. And then he's pushing all the other engineers in the client group, like we need to do this job done. And then he forgets for 4 years, let us say. Then after 4 years, when the next election comes, he is remembering, oh, I promised them water, potable water.
Yeah.
So right now he comes
That is
back
the
and says,
project.
yeah, that's the project. I have promised them. So man, if I don't do what I have committed, I might not get the vote. So he comes back after 4 years and says that, okay, I need this job done within a fortnight. Now the pressure comes in. Like,
Exactly. Even not possible project will be completed within 15 days or like that.
yeah, out of the blue, there is pressure. So out of the blue, I am managing all these projects together, and it's been a hectic job. There are several situations where we had to work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. So these situations come, like when you are in a civil engineering firm for the first 5 years, these things happen. You need to get used to it. So challenges are there, but right now, 2.5 years I am here, so I'm kind of enjoying these challenges.
Even this is your values and ethics which you are maintaining. I believe, like working in an organization is not an easy. You are committed there, and you have to maintain, right?
Yeah, definitely. When you are working for an organization, you need to, you need to have their back. You need to have their back. And
Absolutely.
so I am working for Tata for 3 years. So for 3 years, yeah, I might leave job somewhere someday later or not, whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
But the point is, whenever I am with this company, I need to give my 100% to them. They're paying
Exactly.
me.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is very true. I believe that. And
Yeah.
thank you so much. I had a great fun today, and I'm super excited. Thank you so much for coming. And really, really, I am very grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Don't need to be grateful, Joyita. It was a pleasure being in your channel, and thank you so much for going easy on me in this interview. Thank you.
Thank you.